What's up everyone, I'm Amiga Bill and welcome to today's video. We are going to check out the brand new A6000 computer from Apollo Computers. Now this video is really just a cut down, shorter version of a live stream I did all about the A6000. We had an A6000 right here in the Amiga Saloon, as I call it. Manny from the Apollo team was here demonstrating it for us, showing us the case, answering questions, and we also had Gunnar on video chat from Germany. He's basically like the CEO of Apollo, and he was answering all sorts of great questions about the A6000 computer. So, just real quick overview, what is the A6000? It's basically a Vampire V4 standalone, which is this right here, inside of a case with a keyboard. If you don't know what the Vampire V4 standalone is, it's an FPGA computer, and it's basically an Amiga emulator. I know it's hardware implementation, but essentially it's an Amiga emulator. So if you don't have a real Amiga computer and you want to play some classic games, this is a way to do it. However, the concept behind this is that it takes Amiga a step further. It takes Amiga to a place where it never made it to because Commodore went out of business. So this is faster. They call it the 68080. It's a faster Amiga. It's got better graphics, better sound, etc., etc. But we're here to talk about the A6000 today, and the big takeaways from the stream are basically that the A6000 is a modified Vampire V4 standalone in a case. So they didn't just take this sucker and plop it into a case. They actually modified the board inside, so you wouldn't have like all these headers hooked up on the inside. It just fits like really nicely into the case. So that was big takeaway number one. The A6000 also has 2 megabytes of DMA RAM. This one can only have up to 1 megabyte. So just by the nature of having more RAM, you may notice a speed increase. The case is 3D printed. I know a lot of folks wish it was injection molded. It's not, it's 3D printed, but to be honest, the 3D printing is really good. It's very good. I was a little disappointed when I heard it was 3D printed. I was like, oh man. But then when I actually had it here and touched it, I'm like, oh, this is actually really good quality. And the reason why they went this way is because it's just cost prohibitive for them to do injection molding with something that's going to not be a large quantity item. Also, the cool thing about the 3D printing is you can order in custom colors, which is a lot of fun. The keyboard is really cool. The keyboard's a mechanical keyboard. It's got a USB connector on it. If you look inside the case, you can see there's actually a spot where you can mount other boards, for example, a Raspberry Pi board. Just an idea if you want to have some ARM processing software emulation as well as the FPGA of the Vampire V4. Some folks were disappointed that there's no numeric keypad. You may be able to get around that by plugging an external keyboard, external numeric keypad into one of the USB connectors. I haven't tried that myself, so I'm not sure if it'll work, but in theory it should work. One of the biggest takeaways was the price. A lot of folks were disappointed in the price. It's €1,000 if you're in Germany and €840 if you're in the United States. So it's not inexpensive. It's an expensive piece. It's more expensive than things like the Raspberry Pi, the A500 Mini. However, it's less expensive than like next gen Amigas, like the PowerPC Amigas, like the A1222. So it's somewhere in between. So this video is broken down into chapters. Basically, each question that was asked on the live stream, I made a different chapter. So if you look in the description, you'll see all the chapter markings. So you can just skip ahead if you only have like one question and you want to hear the guys answer you directly. This is a great way to experience it. You'll see a nice tour of the case. You'll see some software running. That's it's pretty rad. So that's about it, folks. Enjoy this cut down version of our live demo of the new A6000 computer. What is up, everyone? Happy Sunday Fun Day. How y'all doing today, man? I'd like to welcome my guest. Manny from Apollo team is here.
Hey, everybody.
Manny's also a good friend. He's been in the Westchester Amiga user group for many years. I think even before he joined Apollo team. So it's cool to have someone from Westchester Amiga user group here in the saloon with me. We're here to see this awesome A6000, the Apollo A6000. Find out like what it is. We'll do a Q&A. Manny's gonna give us a walkthrough. We got Gunnar from Apollo team. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I see we got some Star Trek fans there. We actually had a Star Trek demo we were using a while back.
Oh, very
I love
nice.
The comments from the people on the stream is amazing.
Yeah.
So someone was asking, why aren't the LEDs blinking during the demo? Well, these are for placement only LEDs. You see, this is a prototype. So the only LED-enabled versions exist in Germany right now. So Gunnar's got the LED. You can see the LEDs on if you look at
let's
Gunnar's
see.
live feed.
Okay, I'll tell you. So, folks, what I'll do here, we got Gunnar on the stream as well. Gunnar, what's up, man?
Hi, how are you?
Great. Thanks so much for coming on the stream today. It's a pleasure to have you. This is wild.
Thank you for inviting me.
Why don't you both tell us, like, what do we have here today?
So I could start out, and then I kick the ball to Gunnar, and he could talk about the beautiful 68080, and I could talk about just the thing I worked on was the case, right? So where did this come about? A couple of years ago, after the previous Amiga Germany event, I remember that we decided to start working in this at the train station, at the train stop. And so it's been on and off, because of life things that occur, and just the time and effort required to do it. Over the past couple of years, everybody's been working on it. So I've just worked on the case, but Gunnar and everyone else there have worked on the board design and everything. And so it's gone through a couple of revisions. It was originally supposed to be injection molded. So up until May, the design was an injection molded design. So if anyone on the stream doesn't know what injection molding is, any sort of plastic product you get nowadays, they have to make these aluminum or steel molds. They're quite expensive, and you have to build the parts a certain way so they can actually, we can put the plastic in a hopper, inject it into the mold, and it pulls out without breaking. So the initial case was designed for that, but I was sending everybody pictures of 3D prints, and people were quite impressed by the quality of the 3D prints. And I was very honest about what the printer could do and couldn't do. So I got this big format printer, much to the chagrin of my wife. And I started printing out. And then the cool thing about that was high resolution, right? So if the thing, folks in the stream, when you look at 3D printing, a lot of times, and this is perfectly fair to think this way, the prints look horrible, right? And you're perfectly justified in thinking that. But there have been modern accomplishments in printing to where a high-end consumer version or an industrial grade version can now print to a high enough resolution where it becomes difficult to tell that it's been 3D printed. Another thing that's come up is the size is much bigger. So where if you I don't know if you all could see a feed of the system here.
Yep,
this is all printed.
Right now.
I'll get my hand.
Yep.
I have a skin condition, so don't mind the discoloration. It's all printed in one unit, right? So normally, if you've ever seen printers, maybe some of y'all have ordered stuff from eBay, and it's an Amiga thing that you ordered, and you get it first off, the quality isn't there, and then thing you might notice it's been glued together or something like that. Well, this is not really done in that way. So we've kind of looked at the technology and Gunnar's suggestions, the team suggestions, Gunnar's direction to kind of, well, let's try this. We want to, our thing with printing it was to reduce the cycle time as much as possible, so we're not doing post-processing. So if anyone that knows about 3D printing aspect of this, with 3D printing, if you start sanding stuff and painting stuff, it becomes, you start wasting time, really. So here we were able to do a couple of things. The first big thing was to completely remodel it so that you don't need supports when printing. So this thing prints support free. And this thing, it is broken in two sections. So this grill section here welds onto the top keyboard frame. And it allows us a couple of things. We figured out early on, is like, well, if folks want an Atari ST look or a Mac look, we can do that. But we concentrated on the Amiga look because it's cooler. And another thing the printer technology does that we have that you couldn't do previously is that you can embed multiple colors. So if you see here, the logo is now embedded into the plastic. When you do this injection molding, that's an extra operation, a deco operation, and that's to the cost. Here we can, and actually the bottom pocket of the grill is actually another color. So if you it's not a shadow that you're seeing, it's a different color. And so with that, we were able to do things like on the fell floppy, there's an SD slot on the other side, and that was printed in black as well. So you can do all kinds of little things there. So this guy here, that's not a shadow, that's actually printed in black.
Nice. Okay, so this is printed in black.
Yeah,
right
when
here.
you see, so after that, when we determined we can do multicolor, we said, well, geez, it would be cool. Let's just get some for the team, right? And then we started working on that, doing various iterations. We were like, well, this looks pretty good. Can I get one? Can I get one? And then we figured, yeah, that everybody in the team wants one, but then you know what's going to happen? We have like super fans, and if we do not give this to super fans, they're going to hate us. They're going to basically bludgeon us they're going to bludgeon us to death with an A2000 keyboard if we don't offer them some sort of method of acquiring this, right? So then Gunnar was like, well, let's see if let's sell it. So we get an early release version, and then we'll plan our next steps.
My initial impression when I heard 3D printing, I was like, oh man, yeah, because I know the injection molds so nice, like the A1200 net cases, they're like really good, and I was like, oh man, 3D printed, I don't know about that. But I gotta be honest, folks, like I'm here touching it. You wouldn't even know this is 3D printed. This is pretty.
Yeah, you gotta look twice.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's a really nice case. Like you're probably not gonna be disappointed with it. I think it's quite beautiful, to be honest. I see some folks asking about the keyboard, and also, so this is a prototype version. It's an alpha prototype, so that's why the LEDs aren't working, but they will work, of course. Yeah.
So the keyboard, you can, it's my understanding, these are a common keyboard matrix of parts that you can order from suppliers. So that's how they were able to get the keyboard.
They want to hear. They want to hear the keys. Hold on, I'll put my. Watch this.
Okay.
I got my microphone. Yeah. I'll put.
I'm an 80s hacker. You ever see the 80s hackers?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna lag into their database. They're operating in DDS mode, but I'll get in through a back door. You know, shitty hackers. Well.
Yeah, it's not. It's nice. It's not like super clicky. But it's got a nice sound.
The keys don't scrape up against anything.
So the keycaps are injection molded.
Injection molded, proper injection molding. So it's a hybrid of injection molded and 3D printed.
Cherry switches, cherry keys. The folks want to see inside.
But apparently, when you're at order time, there's a custom color option, and you can, I believe, and Gunnar can chime in on this, you can contact Gunnar, and he has an assortment, a plethora of, he went actually hog wild and bought every filament known to man, I think, and he can give you a custom color if you so choose.
So, cool. So there are custom colors available.
Yeah. So this is the board here. So it's got the laptop IDE connector, a couple of these headers for various things, basically for the SD cards and such, and expansions. We've got 2 DB9 ports, okay? This particular version here is a slightly older version, early revision, so it has the micro SD routed to the back. The new position is the side here. So you can see there's no side cutout here, it was a little different. At this point, we did have this, so this has an expansion bay. I wanted to show this because it has an expansion bay. So it'll ship with just a blanking plate, but this is the space allocation for expansion. So, you know, see SBC type allocation for something that you could do there. And yeah, so there it is. So yeah, some folks were asking, oh, I bet it's just a V4 standalone with cable harnesses so they could reuse their stock of V4s. It's not really a custom design. No, as you can see here, it's a custom design. There's the back here, so yeah, this slots out. So my concept with this is like, I have, say, maybe make some sort of PCB, so basically you would screw another PCB into here. Well, these screws go in to mate it in, and I could do another set of through holes for mounts for other stuff. And you can see the A500 style supports for the keyboard, plus another bar here. Originally I had a brace in the middle, but we took that out. Gunnar suggested just put 2 parallel braces here to reinforce, plus these guys here. So if you know the 600, you could see the definite influence of it. We scanned in the A600, the A500, the Atari 65XC, the Plus 4. We scanned in all those wedge computers. And at one point, I was going to make slides of some of the designs we had, but I was like, you know, I don't want to make this a design class for virtual computers. But yeah, we went through all those just to study how they did things. You know, it's kind of doing this type of case is a lost art. So we wanted to kind of reverse it and then update it.
Someone's just asking about the switches again. Can you replace the switches if you want to?
Well, they're soldered on. They're not that type of plug-and-play switch.
Gunnar, so you guys had 40 of these beauties, and they sold out like immediately. So do you plan on making more?
Yes, I think we'll make a couple more.
Why don't you tell folks who are watching that maybe they don't have any experience with Vampire, they never used the Vampire V4 standalone. Like, what exactly is this computer?
Well, I think it's very easy to summarize. All of our team are Amiga fans, which were kind of heartbroken when Commodore died, and a few of us are working at IBM in CPU development, during the cell CPU development for Sony. And during that time, we were surprised, or I was surprised, how many ex-Amiga users were there in the cell development team. And while working there at IBM, we often spoke about what a shame it is that the Commodore Amiga died, because it was in so many ways so advanced and so nice to use and had so many good ideas. And while talking during lunch breaks or coffee breaks about how nice the Amiga was, we had the idea that it would be nice to try to revive it. And so we reverse engineered the Amiga chipset And after it showed that we couldn't get 060 CPUs from Motorola anymore, we decided to take basically the 060 design, how it was, and to re-implement it and to improve it. And our improvement of the 060 is the 080 now. It's basically, in our opinion, what Motorola would have produced after the 060 a couple years later. So it's internally very much like an 060, but instead being able to do maximum 2 instructions per cycle, it can do 6 instructions maximum per cycle. Instead having 32-bit registers, it had 64-bit registers. So it's like an, our core CPU from Intel today is to a 486, is the 080 to the 060 from Motorola. It's a successor. It's a case of the machine and how the the PCB is inside. We wanted to remake an Amiga with the CPUs that we have developed and the chipset that we have reinvented. It's compatible to the Amiga AGA chipset, but it includes all the features which the original Amiga engineering team had on the to-do list. So it supports true color display, high resolutions. It has more audio voices, so not only 4 like the original Amiga, but 16 voices. It can play 16-bit stereo samples. It has a 32-bit copper, which allows you to set a color in one command, not needing 2 anymore, or setting a pointer in one copper instruction, not needing 2 copper instructions. It has improved blitter, and it also has a 3D texture unit part of the Amiga blitter, which allows you to do like PlayStation 2 kind of 3D games with the Amiga. So all the things which we dreamed of having Amiga as features, or the original Commodore team wanted to implement, we added to the Amiga chipset. So our so-called Super AGA chipset is what we think what Commodore might have brought out in the year 2000 or maybe. So it's a high-end Amiga, more advanced than everything Commodore ever.
Folks, it's really cool now. Like, Amiga fans have so many awesome options. If you don't have like a real authentic original Amiga, you got the A500 Mini. You can emulate on WinUAE. You can emulate on you can get your on a Raspberry Pi. There's the A1200 coming next year. So they have a lot of options. So like, what is it that makes what is it that separates this from the pack? What makes this different and unique?
Well, if you look at the Amiga like we do with an engineering eye, then I see a lot of beauty in the Amiga, because the Amiga was, in my opinion, a very elegant solution. The chipset allowed you with smart thinking to do stuff which other computers at that time, the PC, the Atari, the Apple couldn't do. So Amiga was above them from features because of its elegant chipset. And elegant also in its design. It's not like an NVIDIA graphics card today throwing billions of transistors on a solution, burning hundreds of watts of power. The Amiga chipset was quite the opposite. The Amiga chipset, they did with little hardware, they did cool stuff. So the Amiga is efficient in its way, very efficient. And so we believe that efficiency is also what we try to get back here. If you program a 68K CPU, maybe some of your viewers are programmers, then you know that on the Amiga or the 68K CPU, you could do a lot with very few instructions, right? So it was highly efficient. Your code was clean, your code was small, but you could still do very nice effects. And in some way, this is what puts me off if you have emulation, right? The Amiga was elegant, and you could, with a small program, draw a Mandelbrot, a fractal, or something like that. If you now do an emulation of this, and you need to emulate one Amiga instruction, hundreds of instructions of the systems that you're using, then it's not efficient anymore. Yeah, it's not elegant anymore. If you try to emulate what a copper could do with very efficient commands, with hundreds or thousands of instructions on an PC graphic card. So what I like about the Amiga is that it could do so much with limited resources. You had a very swift workbench, graphical operating system, desktop, even with just 0.5 MB of memory. So this was, in my opinion, very smart engineering, marvelous design ideas, very, very elegant. And if you now use a 3 gigahertz or 4 gigahertz PC with needing gigabytes of memory to emulate this to me is not efficient anymore, and it loses quite a bit of the elegancy of the Amiga.
So this is, I think one thing that kind of separates this is FPGA, so it's hardware implementation / emulation versus software emulation. I know a lot of folks feel that it gives you a bit of a more authentic experience than emulating your Amiga with software, and the fact that it's super fast is awesome. Like I have my MiSTer, which I love. It's a FPGA, and it feels very authentic to me. But this just takes the MiSTer and turns up the speed a lot. So like, let's say folks let's say folks want to run like their old school game. Let's say they play Lemmings, play Another World, Out of This World. Can they do that as well as things that require a much faster processor like an 060?
Yes, the chipset is like the original Amiga AGA chipset. It can run OCS games like Amiga 500 games, Amiga 2000 games, right? You can play those Amiga 1200 games, the AGA games, and you also can run more modern games like Quake 2 or Diablo or our new Robin Hood. So you can run games in true color and in high resolutions, like Robin Hood sports up to 1280 times 720 resolution in many colors. So you have options, and the CPU, the 080 CPU, is much faster than the 060 even. So you're like about 10 times faster than Amiga 4000 or 40 was from horsepower. But the beauty of the CPU is that it can run in a slowdown mode, so you can select that it runs in a speed comparable to an Amiga 500 or an Amiga 1200, which helps a lot if you want to play those older games, right? If you did had an Amiga 4000 with an 040, then you knew that many Amiga 500 games, for example, stumbled on the speed of the 040 CPU. And this is better here because we learned from this, and we have added to the CPU a game mode which allows to run games in about the original speed. And we cannot only do Amiga with this. I mean, we're here in the Amiga channel, but the system can also do Atari. Mm-hmm. So you can also run Atari ST games with it, and Atari OS. And if you know a little bit about Atari games, on the Amiga, many games are synchronized with the screen with the copper, and are typically not so dependent on the CPU performance, because the copper does the synchronization to the screen and the refreshing, which is good, and allowed people with 030 cards or 20 accelerators to run games normally on the Amiga. On the ST, this is a little bit different. They don't have a copper, they don't have a blitter, so their CPUs used a lot for redrawing the screen. And many old ST games, in fact, will run too fast if you have a faster CPU. So being able to clock down the CPU to have the original 8 megahertz speed of the ST or 7 megahertz speed of the Amiga 500 is really needed for the ST games, for example. So half of the games would otherwise not work. I don't know, many people probably don't know what an FPGA is. An FPGA is a chip which is programmable, like an EEPROM is a ROM which can also be written, or most of us will have burned music CDs, right? If you go to the shop, you bought a CD coming from the music house, which was pressed, and on your computer you did burn a CD, right, with music. The music on the CD is effectively the same, and it plays the same, it sounds the same, and you can envision an FPGA like that. An FPGA is a logic chip which the logic can be rearranged on loading time.
So if we look at a Apollo boot here, we've got all the complete list of OSs you could run in here. So it's got the Coffin distro, Amiga Kit XE, every flavor of Amiga OS, AROS Vision, Mac OS, Atari OS is going to be EMUTOS, and then you have Title Launcher and tools. I don't have the Atari OS because I couldn't get it I killed my SDs.
Does this Apollo boot come with all of the A6000s?
I think it's available as a subscription service, if I'm not mistaken, but it's very super economical. But you can, if you're in the know, if you're an Amiga user, you can do all this yourself. It's just that you're basically paying the service to kind of take a lot of the load off your back. But I see Amiga users do this sort of thing all the time.
Right.
Multi-boot menu.
It comes with this.
It comes,
OS,
so it's going to come. It's not going to come with the Omni thing. It'll come with this. So what you see on screen here is the Apollo OS. So this is our answer to the fact that certain ROMs won't be licensed to certain products. So this was developed using the AROS ROM. And so I know Gunnar can speak to this, but we started looking at AROS, and you started to strip away things that were normally talking to the x86 and using 68K equivalents, and it was actually quite fast. And it became fast. Before it was very slow. And so over the years, this has been developed to the point where it's actually quite good. You can actually use it for a lot of things. And you can also load any Amiga OS ROM you want. So that'll happen as well. But here is just a good launching platform to show folks what's capable. I think the next thing I want to show is one cool thing about this, it's almost like a consoleized experience. It comes with the controller, right? And so there's certain things you can do. When you get this, you can look at this image, and it actually tells you things you can do with the control. So when you plug in the Apollo controller, you could things like hold the back button, and you could zoom. So you know how sometimes when you play Amiga games on an HDMI monitor, depending on the game, it's going to look okay. Sometimes it doesn't. So by holding the back key, and then you hold this front bumper here, the right button, you can actually zoom in and out. So you can cycle through all those. Another thing for emulation is very desirable to, some people love scan lines. I like scan lines on a CRT, on a LED monitor, maybe no. But it's okay, you can switch it. So if you hold down back and you press this button here, the second bumper button, you can turn your scan lines on or off. And then you have some speed you can do. So you can go max speed, A1200 speed, A500 speed, right? So and then you can also use these keys here to shift. So the D-pad will actually shift the screen around. So you can get, a customized viewing experience.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting too, because I'm seeing, it looks different. What you're seeing as on the screen on your stream is like a direct feed, a 16:9 for my capture card. And then my monitor is not a 16:9 monitor, so it's kind of making a different aspect ratio, so you can play around with it. So some folks are having questions about the subscription. So folks are asking how much it costs, and they're asking about what is this subscription.
So if you go to our Discord channel, you can find all about it there. Look for Willem, and he'll be able to cite everything you need to know, chapter and verse, about that process.
But you don't have to have a subscription if you buy.
So when you buy this and you want to run Apollo OS out of the box, you're out of the box. You can set that up. If you go to our Discord and you can put your own ROMs in here, you can put your own OS. We've designed it. One of the things pet peeves folks had about the vampires is that you got to crack open the case if you want to change out the hard drive, right? And that's the thing that like with every Amiga, right? You get everything. You ever have those Amiga days where you spend like a whole day setting up the Amiga to get where you like it, and then you want to change something, you got to, like right there, you have to take apart the 2000.
My Amiga, I don't even have screws in any of my cases.
At my house, I have to do it in a clandestine way. We had to talk about that before. But anyway, so you can pull out the hard drive. I don't want to pull it out now. It's powered on, right? But you can just remove the hard drive. I say hard drive, but what it is, it's an IDE bus with a CF card. And you can just take this to a PC or whatever, or to another Amiga, and flash a new image. And this is secondary, right? So this will be this operates, kind of like a modern floppy drive, right, with lots of gigabytes or megabytes of storage.
So let's say I wanted to let's say I downloaded an awesome new game from itch.io, right? I could put it onto that SD card.
Yeah. So full disclosure, this material this machine is a slightly older revision where we still retain the micro SD card in the back, but the newer versions, the production versions that Gunnar has, it's going to have SD here, and then the floppy position. So we did this. If you look at the floppy port, it's going to have a SD. Right, and we designed it again with that whole Secret Weapons of Commodore. There was a really cool website, Secret Weapons of Commodore, and they would show all the stuff Commodore was supposedly working on, and didn't release. And so one of the things I saw, there was the A3400, which is a precursor to or an early version of the 4000, and they had these little cool-looking floppy cutouts that were different from the ones on the 4000. So I kind of designed that to look like something that might have been released from back in the day. They didn't release, just give it a different look. And of course, you can see because not using the big, bulky floppy, it's much thinner. The stack of parts is much thinner, so you can get a smaller size. This uses, the size of the screws are laptop screws. It shows you how much smaller things are. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to have those chunky screws that you would have back in the day. It's got 6 laptop screws that fit it together, and everything kind of slots in place, so you don't have to.
The A600 sort of form factor. So even where the 1200's got the numpad, the 600 doesn't have a number pad.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to show.
So let's just say you're doing something that needs a number pad. Can you work with something that needs a number pad? Why did you go without a numpad? And is there a special key combo to emulate the number pad if you need to use a number pad? He's thinking about F18 Interceptor.
Okay. To be honest, I have 3 Amiga 600s, and I used them for coding for many years, with writing crack throws and Amiga demos. And while writing thousands or tens of thousands of lines of programs, I never needed or used a numpad. So I don't miss it. And I think a big factor of this design is the size. I mean, it's the size of a typical laptop, right? You can carry it around in a laptop bag with you, going to a retro event. You could, if you look at the spacing here, you see this wall, and here basically you could put a laptop battery, and you could, in theory, turn this to a mobile Amiga, and with a small monitor, a mobile monitor, you have an Amiga you could take into the next airplane you fly with, and yeah, so the size is a factor to make this possible, right? You don't want to carry your Amiga 2000 around or your Amiga 500 in an airplane, so this size, in my opinion, has a real advantage there, that you can carry it around.
So can someone attach a keyboard, like an external keyboard, if they really want the number pad? In theory, we could make this happen. Yeah, you have 2 USB ports on the back. You have 2 USB ports on the side. You could attach, in theory, something like that. And this SD card is mapped, is connected to the Amiga chipset, right? It's not like an SD card on the PC where you only could read data. You have DMA access there. So if you have a crack toe or a track loader, you could boot a game from there using a track loader directly hitting the hardware of the Amiga, and this would work. So this would allow you to really play old Amiga games from the SD card like they would run on the Amiga 500 or Amiga 600. So if you put, I have a GoTEK drive and a GoTEK drive in my real Amigas, and I pop it in, it's got a little OLED, and I can choose which ADF file I want to run. How does that work on this?
Well, we're very early right now, right? I mean, we have just the first machines. Our idea currently is that you can select this. On Amiga, you have the early boot menus that you can enter by holding both mouse buttons. Yep. when you reboot. And our current idea is that you from there select the image, and then it boots the image that you Yeah.
Got it. So it'll be like a software. So folks are asking about the price. Oh, so it's €1,000 plus shipping. Is that correct? Or €999 plus shipping?
Yeah, for you US guys, you would not pay German tax, so it's 840.
840. Okay, 840. Would that be €840?
Yeah, the Joypad is CD32 compatible, so you can play all those Amiga 1200 or CD32 games, and also buttons would work like they needed to work for the game. You can use the Joypad also for many other things. I mean, on the old Commodore monitors, you had those things you could turn to
change the aspect ratio of the raster.
The picture fit, and we can do this as a similar or the same using the Joypad. You can also jump into like a debugger, like an action replay mode, where you can then crack the game or write a trainer or something for a game. This is also built in. You can go into this using the Joypad.
Will they be ready for Christmas?
Yeah, I'm sure we will have machines for Christmas.
Are you able to order them now?
We had 40 produced for the 40-year anniversary of the Amiga, which we have this year, right? And we have, 2 days ago, basically launched this special 40 machines, and it was then sold out in 1 day. We'll make a plan now for the production run, and I think on Friday we will announce a plan and the availability. I'm pretty sure we will have machines in the next weeks again in the shop.
How does it compare to the PiStorm in performance and usability?
To the PiStorm. Well, the CPU of the PiStorm, because it's emulation, it runs faster. So it's kind of an apples to oranges comparison. Mm-hmm. This is more a recreation of the whole thing in FPGA, right? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of different aims, right? So with the PiStorm, you want to preserve your Amiga, right? But very early on, like what happens? Okay, and we're seeing this now. You want to get Amiga chips. There's still 2 suppliers, and the prices keep going up, right? Whereas this, at some point, we're going to have to get it off the Amiga silicon and get it onto something else. So what's the action plan for that? Well, ideally, you'd want to have it as a system on a chip, or at least FPGA, or have something that can be reproduced later on. And ultimately, that is the goal with Gunnar. I know he can speak about that sort of thing, the ASIC goal, but you can't get an ASIC from CPU emulation and that sort of thing. I mean, where are you going to get new chips?
Is there any MIDI or serial options on the new Vampire?
We have an expansion port, right? And here's, I don't know, you can see this. You can, you have here an opening, same size as the expansion port of the Amiga 1200. So here's room for adding, for example, a MIDI module in the future.
Yeah. So folks will know that it can do Amiga stuff, right? But what about the secret weapons of Commodore stuff? Like they wanted to do 3D graphics in the Amiga and everything. And so I remember back in the day, 2007, I was looking at the precursor to the V4, the Natami site. They had some of their 3D demos here. So this geometry here is directly, I believe, from that demo. So this is essentially the Natami 3D demos that you saw, but done for this. So you might recognize this famous geometry.
Well, that's a good question, Dennis. Will it run the upcoming Settlers too?
Yes.
That's okay.
So if you've ever played Battlefront, this is on par with PlayStation 2 Battlefront.
That's awesome.
So other cool stuff. So now with AI, you can generate content really, really quickly. So now you know it has this Maggie 3D capability. You know you have X amount of triangles, 1,000, right? And then we started looking at AI tools. And so there's a lot of AI tools. One in particular called Meshy that you can generate. You give it a target polygon triangle count, and you just do a prompt, and it gives you these characters.
Wow.
So at the last the summer Amiga Jam with the Westchester Amiga User Group, I premiered. What is a summer meeting of Amiga stuff without a demo, right?
Oh, exactly.
So we did this demo. This is Morton. So all I did was prompt, to be honest, and maybe edit some of the geometry.
the WOG. So this is rendering this stuff in real time.
It's real time. None of that is rendered.
That looks like a Westchester Amiga user group meeting if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the purple guy. Folks, that's exactly what a Westchester Amiga user group meeting looks like. How does it compare to the PiStorm in performance and usability?
To the PiStorm. Well, the CPU of the PiStorm, because it's emulation, it runs faster. So it's kind of an apples to oranges comparison. This is more a recreation of the whole thing in FPGA, right? So it's kind of different aims, right? So with the PiStorm, you want to preserve your Amiga, right? But very early on, like what happens? Okay, and we're seeing this now. You want to get Amiga chips. There's still 2 suppliers, and the prices keep going up, right? Whereas this, at some point, we're going to have to get it off the Amiga silicon and get it onto something else. So what's the action plan for that? Well, ideally, you'd want to have it as a system on a chip, or at least FPGA, or have something that can be reproduced later on. And ultimately, that is the goal with Gunnar. I know he can speak about that sort of thing, the ASIC goal, but you can't get an ASIC from CPU emulation and that sort of thing. I mean, where are you going to get new chips? So the cool thing about this is, if you've ever, talking about the Amiga animation stuff, right? So this is basically 6 512K 10-second animations. So it's 300 frames each. And they're mapped onto a cube, and it's rotated in real time. So it's pretty impressive.
That's cool.
So this is real time here. I'm actually moving around with the mouse.
That's pretty cool. It looks like Backrooms, man. I can't wait for that movie.
Yeah.
It looks like the Backrooms YouTube channel.
And also you have, it's like we make our own video player, RIVA, as well, which is designed, or it was of course an open source or public domain video player, but we've since taken over development of it or contributing to that project. So 16-bit audio as well.
So this is playing an MP3 file right now.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be an Amiga demo without DJ Collins. The only thing missing is a British cup of tea. We can do some games. So with Apollo Boot, this is pretty good. We have games here. So it comes with a curated collection of games that are here. So it does AGA. So we're playing a game, right? And what's the cool thing? With the controller, what we can do is we can do a couple of things. So when you're playing an Amiga game, on a modern day monitor, you have this thing, like Gunnar was saying, you could use the knobs on a 1084 monitor, but here we can use the back button on the controller and we could zoom, right? So depending on what your preference is, depending on the game also, right? You can achieve different levels of zoom.
So this is,
with scan lines, without scan lines. I'm a non-scan lines guy.
Yeah, on the stream, I think the scan line's just gonna make it look a bit darker.
Yeah. So to exit, we map this to 10, F10. And I know you're a big SOTB or Proxima fan, right? So,
I have both of them.
So what would be...
Oh, don't get me, no, don't do that. Don't now, because then once we start playing the Proxima 3, that's it. Once we start playing the Proxima 3, it's game over. Oh, man.
I knew where I was coming.
Once you start playing, once I get onto the, oh, baby. Whew. All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Don't get me started now. All right, let's go, Rich. I can't wait to hang with Richard at Amiga Germany. Oh man, the Spielschreiber himself. All right, where's the fire button? There we go. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm not used to playing with a real controller. Like I'm used to playing it old school. Whoa. Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. Oh yeah. See, it's really important that it can play all the new Amiga games that are coming out, So this is an AGA game, and this one requires a lot of chip RAM. When I play it on my real Amiga, I have to boot without startup sequence and run it. Runs super smooth. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. The LEDs do work. If you look at Gunnar's machine in the background, his LEDs are working. I see them glowing back there. Now, when they, do they work with disk access? So do they flicker with the disk access?
So the top guy is power. The middle guy is either, is the middle guy, the green one is floppy or hard drive?
The middle one is SD and CF, so every form of hard drive, so to say. And the blue one is Amiga floppy DMA. So if you load a floppy game, you see the access
Oh, okay.
to the Amiga DMA.
I got a question about the keyboard. How's the keyboard attached to the board? Is
I'll
it
show you.
Is it USB or?
Yeah, I'll show you. That's why I brought a separate guy. So when we look at this, I don't know if we get a camera. Oh yeah, we can see that. So excuse the tape here. So I was putting this here. I didn't have the Captain tape, so I used this to protect this. But it's got ribbon connectors that you can use, a la the A600, or you could use this USB connector.
Oh, cool.
USB-C. And this slots into here. So if you remember the A600, it had these slots, which is basically you have to really work to get this out. And then it has grooves, so that basically locks in place. So it's basically connection points on all the corners, right angle registration, and then registration on the top via some slots.
That's
so,
cool.
And it's press on fit. You have to kind of bend it and flex it to get in there. So you could do this. It ain't going anywhere. All right. Further to this, it then mates to the bottom case, which has braces that hold in place. So you have the braces running along the sides and the two bars that go across. And then, of course, Gunnar wanted to do the dual PCB version so that there's no bend and flex. So you know when you have the 500 and the 600 and you take it apart, you put it back together, you always get the little Boeing flex thing, or even on a system that you might purchase from eBay that has been, you crack it open and somehow the keyboard is bent, right? So that's when someone, full-grown man hands banging on a keyboard for many moons, that's what happens. I don't think it's gonna happen here. This is pretty solid.
Nice. So in theory, with that USB-C connector, you could do like a USB-C to USB-A and use that keyboard as a regular USB keyboard?
Yeah, in theory, definitely. That's a project I'm working on, actually, matter of fact, that I'm going to do it just for my own enjoyment. At the very least, I'll make a USB keyboard.
Any thoughts on making a Mark II solution instead of, an M.2 solution instead of SD compact flash, as those cards break after time? So any M.2, do you think about, like the M.2 SSDs?
Right now we use CF simply because Amiga OS 3 has IDE drivers built in, and IDE equals CF, so it's directly usable by normal Amiga OS 3.
GoTEK
is asking, do we have the option for any speed improvement playing OCS or AGA games?
So on the controller, you can set it to different speeds. But if you look at Apollo Zoom, right from the controller, you can control the speed here.
Do you intend to add Wi-Fi to it at all? Any Wi-Fi options for it?
Well, currently it uses the Ethernet, right? There's no Wi-Fi right now, but you can use an Ethernet to Wi-Fi bridge. I think Gunnar has one of those for sale on the site that's been vetted and tested to work with this. So
we have DMA supported Ethernet chip inside the machine, so you can download or upload with offloading the CPU, basically. So like you want it on an Amiga, you want it to be DMA based. And Wi-Fi, I think this is an option also for the expansion port, which we might consider next year. I think for having something like a mobile Amiga in your airplane or so, Wi-Fi would be nice.
Good question, Condrav. Is there any difference in MIPS from the standard V4?
Yes, a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you guys followed our recent developments. We had a couple months ago what we call the Mushushu upgrade. Mushushu is a Babylonian dragon, kind of historical fantasy figure. And if you guys follow our developments, all our stuff have kind of fairy tale and monster names. And this upgrade added to our CPU 3-instruction decoder, which allowed, or which each is able to decode up to 2 instructions per cycle. So since this upgrade, our CPU can do up to 6 instructions per clock cycle. And I suppose many you run right now a 100 megahertz core, so you are theoretically able to do up to 600 MIPS 68K performance. So this is pretty fast for an Amiga. This machine has not only more memory than the normal V4, it also has wider memory. So we have 2 gigabytes of memory. Also, the bit width of the memory bus is wider. This gives us more DMA bandwidth and gives more free memory bandwidth for the CPU if, for example, Maggie or the Blitter is doing something in the background. So the machine has more memory bandwidth, and this results in being faster a little bit.
Can we hope to one day see a Vampire V5?
Well, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I'm not a fan of these quick product cycles like you have with mobile phones, that every half year a new model comes out and everyone throws his iPhone away because it's 2 years old. I don't really like this kind of selling new hardware again and again and again. People need to upgrade. What I like a lot is something being in the market for a longer time, because then you as a user know that you can keep your things for a longer time, and also you as a developer have a stable system, right? All our systems are compatible. Yeah, you have the Firebird, the Ice Drake, the Manticore, the V4 standalone, and now the A6000. This is one family. So if you want to develop games for them, they will run on all of them equally, which in my opinion makes kind of sense, right? I mean, we want to encourage people again to develop games for Amiga. And if you every half year or every year would bring out a new model which is incompatible to the previous ones, this wouldn't really give developers a basis where they can develop software for. So I think having a stable platform, which we continue to bring out or support for over many years in the future also, is good for the people buying the machines, right? You buy this machine and you know the same machine will be sold next year and the year after. So it's not something you buy today and tomorrow it's out of date. And also for the software developers, you know, there's thousands of people having these machines, so you have a market where it makes sense again to develop software, right? And if you look at Robin, I mean, Robin is a PC game that you can also play on your Windows machine, and there it requires a gigahertz PC, right? And with a gigabyte of memory, so it shows you can do quite demanding games also on the V4 on the Amiga. Yeah, so I mean, games like Diablo 2 or StarCraft, Age of Empire, these type of games which I personally like. I mean, these are all pretty cool games in my opinion. We have more than enough horsepower for playing all those games.
Any thoughts to have an Apollo card in PCIe as an add-on card so it can tap into existing PC hardware and peripherals?
This is not on our roadmap.
Not on the roadmap. Copy. Thank you. They're asking for a coding book, so they can code in SAGA. That's a cool idea. Because for me, that's something that's really exciting. It's like, if I'm gonna get an Apollo or Vampire, like I want to run some things that are like made for it. And that's what like one of my viewers is Proton, and he's like making demos specifically for the Vampire. I know Phase 101, he's making he's got a whole demo compo going right now just to make demos for the Vampire that's gonna premiere at Amiga Germany. So the thing is, to me, is like the hardware is cool, but the hardware is cooler like when people are making software and demos specific for that hardware. So it would be rad if you can get if it's easy for people to program for the Maggie chip.
It is easy. I mean, most of you will know the Addison Wesley hardware reference manuals for the Amiga. I used them a lot when I coded cracktros for the Amiga in the old days, and they describe the hardware registers in a certain type and format, and our hardware registers are blended into the basically existing hardware registers of the Amiga. So we are using the DFF space, which the original Amiga uses. We added a few more registers there, and our registers are defined, explained in the same way as the Edison Watley Amiga hardware reference manual describes them. And if you go to our website, you will find demo snippets showing how to write a sinus scroller or how to render a true color 3D fractal and accessing our chipset directly. So there are examples of how to code the chipset. Also on our distro, the number of demos and effects. Some of them my son wrote for the Amiga, and
So a good question about the aspect ratio. That's a good question. I forgot who asked it, so I'll go away. It's interesting. It's interesting the way it's behaving because let me go. If you see that, so what you're seeing now, my capture card is a 1920 by, well, it's actually a 4K capture card, but 16 by 9. Right now we're in 1920 by 1080, and it looks like the image is going to the full edges, so it's probably getting a little stretched. I guess it's just the way the Vampire outputs, because if you look, whatever the aspect ratio is, whatever half of a widescreen ultra-wide monitor is, it's filling that, so it's not as stretched. It's more pushed in from the sides. So but his question is, can you pin me? Thank you. The question is, see that? See it up there? Now watch this. Hold that screen for 1 second. That looks kind of normal to me, right? And then when I go over to here, it's a little more stretched, right? So I'm not sure how exactly it's processing it. You know, like if we were to hook this up to a 16 by 9 monitor, I guess it would go the full 16 by 9, and then they're asking if you could change the aspect ratio to get it to be like back to the 4:3 or whatever aspect ratio the game is in.
Well, it can give out all the original Amiga formats, right? PAL, NTSC, and so on. And it has built in a flicker fixer, a deinterlacer. So you can display PAL interlaced, I don't know, SimCity or something, and it's automatically deinterlaced. You have those new screen modes in addition, and there you have 4:3 modes, like you usually want to use, for example, for Quake or so. And you have also a 16:9, or you have 16:10, which you might want for a laptop monitor of certain size. So it can give out various aspect ratio.
Let's say, you know, I purchased Amiga 1200 Kickstart ROMs. Can you load them onto the A6000 and use those Kickstart ROMs?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, we ship the machine with our own ROM, Apollo ROM, right, with it matching our Apollo OS, which is Aeros based. As you might know, Aeros is also the foundation of MorphOS, so using this has a good heritage in the Amiga scene. Yeah, you have the option, you can install OS 3, 3.1, 3.2, whatever you want.
Okay, so yeah, here's Robin Hood. I did not read the tutorial on this, so let's read. Very interesting. So Gunnar was mentioning if one of the first games you got on Amiga was Defender of the Crown, it was really a showcase game. So that's kind of some of the thought behind here, right? This is essentially, if you consider in the context of the, again, Secret Weapons of Commodore, alternate timelines, this would be the sort of game you would then be purchasing, right? So straight ahead, you're looking at this and it's got high-res graphics, it's 2D represented on screen, but you can see it's actually from a 3D rendered source. Very nice.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Yo, Amiga Disrupt. What's up, Amiga Disrupt? Great to see you. I can turn up the volume here. Yeah. Manny, while you're playing Robin Hood, I need to take a quick bio break.
Okay.
I'm muting.
That's a showbiz term for going to the washroom.
Yeah.
Very good. I don't need to take a bio break. I seldom go to the bathroom. So yeah. So this is the sort of thing we missed out on, right? As we all transition to the PC world. Maybe it's 1996, 1997, and you're still playing Lemmings on your Amiga. And maybe you've gotten a 68030 accelerator, and you've installed Doom, and you're still 2 or 3 years behind everybody. This is fun to play. And
Let's go. Well?
So Willem has spent a lot of
don't
time
think that's a
optimizing
good
this
idea.
from the original PowerPC code.
Well?
He's pretty much rebuilt it from scratch, doing a
go.
great job with that.
Well?
And it just goes to show you the sort of game you could develop
Let's
with the same sort of resources
Well?
or the same sort of time and
Let's go.
effort that you might have in a PC
Well?
game. We're going to go here.
Get ready?
Awesome.
Looks like Maine. I didn't do anything.
You want to hear it, Chorro?
Here, you should play.
No, you play.
Nice. Awesome sound.
The sound is really good.
I don't know, works really well.
Oh, you're the author of Candy Factory. Cool, Lemur. That's amazing.
Oh, it has the high gear. It uses the second button to go into high gear. Oh, nice. How'd you guys like it? Oh, this is good. I wish it had MIDI support for the SC55. I went and found those files online because you couldn't rightly find them, but I just kept looking and looking, and I found them, and I have the SC55. It's freaking awesome. I play this back on the Amiga, but to have that,
That'd be sick.
great.
This is awesome.
If the developers are listening. Hey, Mova.
I love this game.
It's good, right?
Oh, we got a dog down here.
Amiga dog.
And we got Amiga dog here.
Make a bow wow.
Dinner's ready in 5 to months.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. We'll wrap it up soon.
Oh, this is cool.
How
Yeah.
good to be playing Castlevania, vampire-based game on a vampire.
This game should you
Should bundle it.
you should hook up with Dante 3D Dev and bundle this. Oh man.
Speak to Konami.
How awesome is this game, Manny?
That's pretty good.
The Amiga community rules.
Yeah. If this had come out back in the day, it'd be a hit.
It would have been massive.
That's what I'm saying. It's a shame Amiga developers, there were no real Japanese Amiga developers that I know of.
Credits. Oh, nice. We can play all different tunes
Oh,
now.
wow.
It sounds good.
Ooh, that's nice. It's good.
Level 1's outside now. So the first thing that I noticed, like right off the bat here, is I see foliage. I see green because we're outside. The original Roguecraft starts inside of a dungeon. This is rad. First of all, I see a chicken. Let's kill that fucker.
One slice.
You have one slice, dude. I actually ate chicken for lunch. It was great. This is awesome, dude. So, Zendar, what are the requirements for this? Can I play this on my regular Amiga, or do I need something super duper like an A6000? Blocked. Can't get through there. Okay, so you know what? Let's go.
Figuring it out at the moment.
Copy you, Zendar. Oh, I didn't see this album, man. Okay, I'll check out that URL. GoTEK wants to know how we can get Roguecraft DX. It's a good question. Dude, I love the skin. I love the skin. Put them on the grill. My inventory is full already. Oh, this must be like a cheap version. Everyway by Hoffman. Hoffman is running, baby. It's running.
So he does all this music and the graphics.
He does everything. He's insane. He's insane. Hoffman's DJing at Amiga Germany. We're gonna, dude, Hoffman, me and C0rbo, we're gonna rock out. Hopefully Manny can come too. We're gonna rock out. I can't wait. Trashy, sure. I'm impressed that
It's
it
really
runs,
good.
it runs
I
really
like
good.
this monitor. What is this, a Dell?
Let's see what Manny's got up on the screen right now. This looks dope. I see he's got Lightwave up there. Where's the official store for the 6000? It's a6000.net, right?
Go to a6000.net. There's an order link. You can also go to the Apollo computer site. There's an order link there as well. There's the whole Apollo page for all the products that they make. But yeah, the a6000.net is your go-to place if you want to find out about it, watch all the videos and the stuff we put up so far.
So this is rendering Lightwave. That just rendered something.
Well, it does the preview
Wow.
right quick.
This is what gets me excited. Oh man.
Yeah, so
this is what gets me excited.
It's funny you mentioned that. So outside of here, on the previous build of Coffin, I got that, and even I get the caffeine and everything, and I have a build of it that runs the Mac OS. So this system has the ability to do. You did After Effects back in the day, right?
Yeah, I'd still do After
Right.
Effects a little bit.
So it does. It's akin. I had a G4 733 that I used to use every day. It was my daily driver from 2001 to 2004, 5, and this matches that. So I'm able to do Lightwave animations. I'm able to put it, save it to one of the drives, the big partitions that we have, and then you could read it in the Mac, and I could do assembly of everything.
That's awesome.
So you could render things in passes, and it replicates that workflow at the DVD resolution, and it does things like the real-time, how in Photoshop you test a machine in a Mac to see if it does the real-time lens flare. It does real-time updates when you do your preview.
Oh wow.
So that was amazing, man. I was fighting to try and get that for this setup, and maybe getting too much into the weeds in terms of the graphics and everything. But that to me is that you can go onto the Mac side of stuff.
I'm gonna go mobile here, and we're gonna go pick out a beer, Manny.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna go pick out a beer. It'll get in the Amiga Saloon beer fridge.
All right.
I probably should have had some German beers ready to go. That's disrespectful. I do have German candy stuff. We can get some German.
There's good
candies out.
beer music on here.
Yeah, I got okay. So I got a Miller Lights. I got a Lagunitas IPA. What are you feeling?
Geez.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
Thank you. But I say never yuck another man's yum, right? So if someone thinks something's yucky, then hey, whatever. If someone likes it, whatever. I think we've hit the marks. There's an old saying, give the people what they want. And the proof that this thing sold through 40 units in less than 24 hours at the price it was at, that's cause for celebration. So cheers, Gunnar, for making that happen.
I'm going with the strong one.
Hang on.
Screw it.
All right, see? Now we're talking. I didn't notice how I didn't have to coax very much for him to go and get beer. And he's probably got some right off camera, too.
So this is a B127 beer. Obviously my buddy's into like 80s nostalgia. He's Wolf and Warrior Brewery in White Plains, New York. Yo, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and checking out the Apollo A6000 computer today. Big ups to Manny for driving all the way over from Jersey, fighting the traffic on the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yeah, I totally did like
Dude,
80 miles an
it
hour.
took him forever to get. Dude, he was fighting all kinds of traffic. Big thanks to Gunnar for tuning in from Germany. And like I always say, you know, the most valuable thing any of us have besides our health is our time. And the fact that all of you come here like every Sunday and hang out with me, it really means the world to me. I love these Sunday Fun Day streams. They're a really, really important part of my life because I get to hang out with some really super awesome, nice people. So cheers, Manny.
Cheers.
Thank you for
Salute.
coming.
Thank you for your wonderful host.
Cheers. Prost.
God bless your mother.
Prost. Gunnar, Prost. Oh, thank you. Y'all rock. I see y'all there. We got C0rbo's here, my man. Look at C0rbo's here.
Good to see you again.
We got the wide angle.
Hey, how you
on.
been?
Hey.
Good to see you.
You remember,
see you.
right?
All right.
So good to see you.
Stefano, Manny,
The whole crew's here.
the whole crew is here now. Westchester Amiga YouTube uniting. What's up, Lisa?
And wife device.
Wife device, come on in.
Wife device.
Hello.
Wife device.
A little,
Oh, no.
come in a little closer, Lisa. There she is.
There you go.
The party, now the party can start. It's AmigaMom's kitchen. She's cooking ravioli today. Because we have guests, she went full Italian. That's what she does best. She went with her go-to ravioli. We are gonna head up to AmigaMom's kitchen.
It's good to,
We're going up.
I could
We're going
talk
up
a
to
good
AmigaMom's
job,
kitchen,
but
folks.
it's hard.
Here we
You know?
go. It's AmigaMom kitchen time. Let's freaking go. All right.
Are we all coming up for
We're coming
dinner?
up it's dinner time.
Including the whole
And we got the
Amiga.
dog. We got Amiga dog here. Amiga dog is pumped.
Yes!
All right.
Oh,
we got
that would be
Lisa.
great.
What's up, Lisa? Amiga dog is here too. What's up,
Oh,
Amiga
there
dog?
we are.
Amiga
There
dog.
we are.
Ami
Okay.
dog is here. What's up, Ami dog?
Yeah, we have a new member to the community. We have a
Ami
new
dog.
member. Okay, so what we're doing, we're going to have raviolis. And we have 2 Amiga guests today. Three. Lisa.
Here's Lisa.
Right.
Yes, that's
Stefano.
That's Stefano's wife device right there.
Right.
There he is. There's Stefano himself.
And Manny.
And
Manny,
Amiga
it was so
dog.
nice to see him.
There's Amiga dog. There's Manny.
Okay.
Manny, it's great to see you again. Thank you so much for the great demo today. I love the A6000. It was awesome. It was a pleasure to have you.
Okay, so
Amiga
now-
dog is just pumped, man. Amiga dog smells the. Amiga dog loves the ravioli. Amiga dog is itchy.
Well,
Amiga
let
dog
me-
is going to itch.io right now.
Oh, wow.
Amiga dog is ready for the itch.io. Look at her. She's downloading games like crazy right now. She's pumped.
What a good dog. She's very friendly. She really
C0rbo
is.
definitely has like the best T-shirt of the day. There he is up there. It's Diagnosis T-shirt.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, Mom. What do we got for
So
dinner
today we have homemade raviolis, and they're coming from Trotta's House of Pasta.
Yeah.
And so I went down this morning, and I got some fresh ones, and now they're done. So I'm just, as they say, fixing the pasta. And let me see. I gotta just finish draining out the raviolis. You gotta do them gently because they can break very easily, and you don't want them to break.
No, don't break their abilities, Mom.
No, this is my big pasta pot. Okay, and
That is. I don't know how you lift that thing up. That's heavy.
it is. And let me just fix the raviolis, and then we'll go on. And I'll give you what our menu is for today.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah. Oh,
How does all that fit there? That's crazy.
I don't
You're
know.
balancing it on the stove.
Yeah, I know. It's working. So we have here cheese. Cheese raviolis, the large cheese raviolis, and then we're going to have meatballs, sausages, hot and sweet, and we have spare ribs. And those are the meats we're having. But before we begin dinner, I have to show you. We have an antipasto
Wow.
from Stefano and Lisa. So we're going to start our dinner.
Anto Giuseppe.
Oh yeah. We're gonna. Isn't that nice? Look at how nice
nice.
they have it arranged and everything. Yeah, that was really
I'm
nice.
excited for the fresh mozzarella I see there. That looks really good.
I love that. I love that
I
stuff.
love the fresh
Yep,
mozzarella.
I love it.
And I'm excited for some meat. 'Cause,
Yep.
My wife is vegan, so I might have one ravioli and like 10 meatballs. I need some meat.
Well, but, you enjoy the vegan food too, though.
I do. The vegan food.
No,
is
you
amazing.
do.
It's
You
really
enjoy
good.
it. You enjoy it. So that's our raviolis. I'm gonna put a little grated cheese on it, and that's our raviolis for tonight. And then we have, as I said, we're gonna start off with the antipasto, and we're gonna then have the raviolis along with the meats. I got the meats
There's
here.
the meats.
Yep, got the meats here.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Meatballs.
Bring the meat.
Yep, we're gonna have the meats, the meatballs, the spare ribs. I hope
could
Man,
watch and-
Manny. I hope Manny likes Italian. I didn't even ask if he likes Italian food. Do you, Manny? I hope. Do you? Great. I'm glad because I just took it upon myself to see if
Manny
he.
likes the
Okay. All right. All right. So, and then we're going to have, Ben, for dessert, wait till you see the dessert. Tiramisu from, again, Stefano and Lisa.
Oh, that's
Yep.
Stefano, the tiramisu is his trademark.
Yes.
So to all the WOG parties, he brings the tiramisu.
But
and
it's
brings
delicious.
Amazing gelato to all the WOG meetings.
Oh, God,
my
I tell
God.
you, he spoils
Yeah,
us.
oh, look, Amiga Dog is
He's ready for it.
Ready for the tiramisu.
He's ready, but this is the
Amiga Dog.
tiramisu we're going to have tonight for dinner.
Oh,
I mean, for
wow.
dessert for dinner.
I can't wait.
Yep. So we're ready, Freddie. Oh, a little wine that they
Nice.
brought.
Oh,
Isn't that
is that
nice?
wine too? Oh,
You know,
that's the
oh,
best.
this. I know this is. Oh, the sunflowers.
Oh yeah, look at these are beautiful sunflowers.
Yeah, and I said to them, Lisa and I were talking, and she mentioned that tomorrow's their 25th wedding anniversary.
No way. Are
And
you
I
serious?
wish
No way.
I wish I
No
knew.
way.
Isn't
Tomorrow's
that
their
great?
25th wedding anniversary. That's amazing.
And it is.
Congratulations.
They were just. I said to Lisa when she was telling me that, I said, it's a true love story.
That's
They are a true
awesome.
love story. Yep.
Wow. The day before their 25th wedding anniversary,
Yes.
they're here.
Right,
That's
right,
amazing.
right. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. So that's our meal. So I want to wrap it up because we have to eat. I don't want
Get
it
it
to
while
be
it's hot.
cold. Get it while
Get it
it's
while it's
hot.
hot, Mom.
Right, right, right. Oh, we got the
Oh, we got
salad.
salad, too.
We got salad. And the Italian bread. So I think, did I cover everything, Lisa?
You did. You really
Did I?
did.
Okay.
It's the last day of summer, everyone.
That's
Enjoy.
right. It
right.
is the
That's
last day of
right.
summer.
Enjoy.
Happy last day. Oh, that's
Yeah.
sad.
I know.
I know. Fall is great and all, but the carefree days this summer.
It's cool because we have our wedding anniversary the Labor Day weekend, so August 31st.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, so similar to you guys, last day of summer, we
Yep.
have it Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
So.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, look at that.
No, the
Congratulations.
Italian bread. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you next week.
All right, thanks, Mom.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be amazing. I'm so excited. Oh, now you got the cheese on it. It's so.
Oh
good.
yeah, I got my cheese on it, and we're ready.
I'm ready.
You're ready.
I've
Good.
I've been ready since 8 o'clock this morning.
Okay,
All right,
let's go.
congratulations,
Okay.
C0rbo and C0rbo
Thank
Selector.
you.
25 years.
25
That's
years.
amazing.
That's
so
wonderful.
Cool.
25 more to go.
Amazing.
How
So
nice.
excited.
Yeah. Amiga Dog's ready.
Look at her.
Yeah,
She's
Amiga
so
Dog is
beautiful.
so ready.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Oh God.